FrightFest.
Hi.
Hello. So, first of all, tell me a little bit about Double Date, a little teaser without spoiling too much for people that haven't seen the movie. What can we expect?
So, Double Date, 2 guys, 2 girls. No, it's very, very roughly 2 guys, 2 girls set over one night. The worst double date ever. Based around our central character, played by me, who's called Jim, and he's cripplingly shy of women, talking to women, dating in general. And just so happens that the one night his best friend helps him conquer that fear is the one night he really should be afraid of women, because these women are scary. And so that's the general premise, and then it all goes off on some bonkers adventure together.
Nice. Guys, what made you want to kind of make this story and tell this story? Is there any sort of factual basis there of disastrous dates?
What are you insinuating? So...
Yeah, I'm a total player, so it's like...
Yeah, he gets so many chicks. No, he's married, actually.
Yeah, with a kid.
I want to cut that out. I mean, basically, it stemmed from a general fear and anxiety I've had in my time of women and talking to women and stuff like that. Obviously, I'm over all that now. Yeah, of course. And and so it was. I guess it was just a way of me exploring that fear in a way that I could. It was sort of like therapy, I suppose. Kind of make jokes out of it and explore why there is that fear, and so that was kind of where it stemmed from. And then also I knew I wasn't a writer. This was the first thing I'd written, so I wanted to keep it very simple. So I knew 2 guys, 2 girls. That's fine. And but yeah, I mean, based loosely on me in my 20s.
Yeah, Jim is you a bit.
I'm just
in your 20s.
In my 20s, yeah. In my 30s now, I'm a player.
Especially after people see this film.
Mate.
Can't move for it.
It's going to be. I need to buy a new stick to beat
what are you going to
them
do
off.
with? Oh, right,
beat them off.
Okay, right.
So this is the first time you've written a movie yourself, and how was the dialogue itself is great, and it feels very kind of natural, especially between you and Michael. Was any of it kind of improvised, or was that all very tightly scripted?
Yeah, we did a lot of improv. The way me and Ben have liked to work is, but you know, when we back in the old days, Ben would just turn up at my flat with a camera, and we'd have a rough idea, and Ben would just say, "Okay, go," and he'd roll, and then he'd go away and edit it into something that looked good. So we always wanted to keep that real fresh improv-y style, but we had a script, and especially in the scenes with me and Michael, we would play, and Ben would say, "Okay, look, just you guys can do what you want." And when you got someone like Michael, who's such a great improviser, he just gives you gold on each take. So we have the script, and we would normally get the scene as written, and then Ben would just, if we had time, Ben would just say, "Okay, you two just piss about now, say whatever you want," really. And that was great to watch Michael just.
And we shot in kind of a loose style as well. So it's
Yeah.
like 360 lighting. There's not much resetting. It was kind of open for them to sort of move around a bit and play about. And if I needed to change anything at any point, I could, because there was not much downtime. They were just sort of staying in the moment a lot, and knew they could kind of veer off, and they were sort of safe to. So
Nice. And how did it range? Because obviously, like, some of it is very sort of loose, but then you've got one, without spoiling too much, incredible fight scene towards the end. I mean, what was that like to direct? It seemed like it was a kind of mammoth set piece.
Yeah. Well, it was just really one room that we could smash up, but it was definitely it was prepped like crazy. So it was kind of. I did it with 2 stunts in a dojo first. Like, I storyboarded it all out, did it with 2 stunts in a dojo with the cinematographer, just kind of on a cheap camera, just figured it all out so I knew how it would all work, and then had it timed out, you know, over the course of 2 days. And then production design, everyone knew which bits would smash where, and it's like, you can smash up that 3 times, you can smash up that 3 times. I mean, definitely the best fun I've pretty much ever had.
Ben was like a kid in a candy shop. He was loving it. I mean, literally in the script I wrote, "They have a fight." It was one line. And Ben just went, "Can I do something here?" And I was like, "Yeah, go for it." And he went away and wrote like a 10-page epic fight scene. And I was like, "Holy shit, fine, yeah, great." And then he shot it in 2 days, and I would just turn up and go, "Ben, is everything all right?" And he'd go, "Yeah, it's brilliant. I'm going to smash that bookcase over someone's head." And I'll go, "Okay."
It was quite like that as well.
"Okay, I'll come back tomorrow." It's like, he was loving it.
It was amazing. How important was it for you guys to kind of balance the comedy and the horror?
Yeah. So, you know, I think we had very clear ideas about what we didn't want to do.
Yeah.
For sure, there was definitely a lot of that, and I think there was kind of a sort of a rawness that we wanted to bring to it. That's where the kind of comedy is kind of playing with improv, and the acting is a bit more free, and then the violence and the horror is kind of a bit more raw and brutal. And I think that's why there's a kind of meshing together there, because it's not all sort of, you know, kind of slapstick and silly and then kind of, you know, and unbelievable. You're sort of, hopefully you're falling into this world with these people, so when it does get mean, it gets mean.
Yeah.
And when it gets funny, it gets funny. And I think the two can play around quite easily.
Yeah, we didn't want it to be too sort of comic-y or cartoony. We wanted the violence to be really brutal and scary, so that when you cut to the two idiots in the pub, you get a laugh just on that cut, because you go, holy shit, these guys are going to meet up and these two idiots have no idea how much trouble they're in. So the more brutal and scary you could make the girls, the funnier the guys would go. It would sort of work it, like push each other up a bit.
Yeah. So the movie's playing right now on a giant screen in front of hundreds of horror and genre fans. I mean, what's that like for you guys to kind of see it here arrived at FrightFest?
Yeah, really exciting.
It's bonkers.
Well, we just went into an IMAX, and like I've never even seen that IMAX in Leicester Square, so even that was just kind of like, that's massive.
Yeah.
And then it was just kind of all our names written over it with a huge picture of Kelly and our poster. So yeah, it's a big joy, right?
I just kept thinking, my head is going to be so big. Like, people are going to be able to see my brain if they look up my nose. It's going to be too big. That was freaking me out a little bit. But they seemed really friendly. We did a quick intro, and they were like, woo! They seemed up for it, so I hope they're going to have a good time.
Yeah, I really want to poke my head in there.
Yeah.
I really want to poke my head in, just see how they're getting on.
Finally, do you guys still remember the lyrics to that amazing song that you have to sing in the...
Family one.
I can't even remember how the melody goes.
I remember T-U-R-N-E-R-T-U-R-N-E.
Yeah, I can remember that bit. But opening line?
It's another Turner's birthday, jump up and down.
Got it.
Down in Cowabunga time. That was written, by the way,
brilliant.
by Eri, who plays my sister Beth in the film.
Right.
Eri Jackson. She wrote that song. She's a brilliantly funny actress. And she wrote that song. It was like, genius. That's so cringy and horrible.
Yeah, possibly the most terrifying moment of the film.
Yeah, it is really surreal and very awkward. But then... yeah, we were so chuffed. The actors really threw themselves into that silly stuff, so we were pleased.
And that was shot at like 4 a.m. as well. Everyone's completely exhausted and falling asleep.
On a birthday. And Ben would like prod them with sticks. And go up.
The cattle prod.
Yeah.
God, must have been very surreal. So finally, guys, what are you hoping that people are going to kind of experience and get out of this movie when they go and watch it?
Well, I think I would love for them. Ultimately, there was a thing I always kept in my head, was that I really loved the idea of someone going to a cinema and feeling like they went out on a night out and out on a date without, you know, leaving the cinema. And I think to a certain degree, watching audiences so far experience it, it's kind of been a bit wall-to-wall laughter. It ramps up bigger and bigger, and it just really feels like everyone gets a really good night out by seeing it. So in that sense, I feel like we won.
Yeah, definitely. We wanted it to be just really, really entertaining, and for it just to grab you and take you off in this car for an hour and a half, and you don't know where you're going, and then by the end of it, you're sort of with them or exhausted and battered, and hopefully you've had a good time.